Do you think the coverage of Donald Trump has overcorrected? That is, do you think...
Yes.
Totally. We're over our skis and it's going to hurt us.
Well, now there's all this talk about his mental stability, the president's mental competence. And in fact, Joe, you spoke this morning about, whether the president has early onset dementia.
So two-part answer here. Yes, we've overstepped. We're over our skis.
Totally.
We are the entire mainstream media, we are reflexively anti-Trump on all things. But secondly, we're also in a very unusual position where we are in the middle of a nuclear showdown with a country that could in several years hit Seattle, San Francisco, Los Angeles with nuclear weapons. And we have a president who, Mika and I believe, through knowing him,
we know him,
is not mentally stable, is less stable than he was a year and a half ago. When people on his campaign told me they believed he had early onset of dementia. Now,
on the campaign.
On the campaign. People that were on the campaign.
Who are still involved and are working at the White House now?
Who are still involved.
And still feel comfortable working for him?
I don't think they ever felt
Nobody
comfortable.
feels comfortable working for him.
I think what's interesting
not one person.
is...
Literally not one person?
You talked about
I can't
Mika.
think of one person.
Wow.
Maybe Kellyanne Conway. But I think even doesn't she supposedly roll her eyes when people mention his name?
That's what Michael Wolff reported. And I do know that it's true that she was calling around on Election Day blaming Reince Priebus for
by the way,
inevitable
that's
loss.
another thing. I will say that a lot of the good things about this Wolff book is things that we said on the air that people went after us for, like saying that Kellyanne Conway was never in a meeting, that she didn't know what she was talking about, that's all come out in the book. But there's so many people like General Mattis, General McMaster, Gary Cohn, and others who were there because they feel like they're serving their country. And I remember during transition, we actually went from having a hostile relationship with Trump through most of the campaign to suddenly doing what we could do because we were getting calls from foreign policy establishment types saying you need to go in, and if he will talk to you, see if you can talk to him about X, Y, and Z.
What was X,
really?
Y, and Z?
Trying to talk him into or out of certain policy positions?
Like, for instance, no, personnel mainly. Like you can't have Steve Bannon as your chief of staff.
But they were asking you to tell him that?
Not only were foreign policy people, Democrats and Republicans, asking us to use whatever influence we might have with him, but you had staff members saying he doesn't have a Hispanic in his cabinet, Joe.
What an unprecedented situation where they're looking to you all to influence his decision-making.
I don't know that it's unprecedented, actually. I mean, you had Walter Cronkite trying to talk Bobby Kennedy into running for president of the United States. This isn't as unprecedented.
Everyone's so shocked.
We are now knighting, basically, are putting Ben Bradley up for sainthood, who we love Ben Bradley. But Ben Bradley and JFK, please, let's not, and we're not saying that we're Ben Bradley, but it has been, everybody's been thick as thieves through the years. And suddenly people acting shocked that somebody would say, hey, go in and tell him that Steve Bannon would be a horrible chief of staff and it would be bad for America, or tell him that Rudy Giuliani is probably the last person you want as Secretary of State.
I guess because it's heretofore been done much more privately. Now everything is sort of out there.
The difference, though, is if I went in and talked to Donald Trump about Rudy Giuliani, that the entire foreign policy community would think that would be a disaster for Secretary of State, I'd say it on the air the next day.
Yeah.
We were transparent about it.
There was nothing we talked about behind closed doors that we wouldn't say on the air.